GarageBand has a score editor built inside of it, which will actually let you create sheet music if you are used to doing that. If you know how to read or write sheet music, or even want to learn how to read sheet music, GarageBand gives you a great way of doing this. Another powerful feature is that it works hand in hand with the piano roll editor and creating MIDI notes and instruments. So if you have a keyboard hooked up with MIDI or you're using one of these software instruments within GarageBand, whatever you do in the piano roll editor, you can see in the sheet music of the score editor. And whatever you write in the score editor will change within the MIDI regions. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Let's go ahead and close the library. And we'll go to the top and we'll click on Window, Show Musical Typing if this isn't being shown already. And this will just allow us to play some notes on our computer. And we'll go ahead and click the Editors button. We'll drag this up so we have a little more room. And this is the piano roll editor. And we want to click on the Score button to see the score editor. Now nothing is going to be shown here until I actually have something recorded. So let's go ahead and record something real quick. Okay, now as you can see, I was trying to create some whole notes like this one, and I was off a little bit. I waited too long on this one and this one. So I'll show you how to adjust and move those around here in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the workspace. You have the options on the left-hand side, which we will talk more about in a later video, and you have the score editor workspace on your right-hand side. You have your basic cycle bar at the top, and then you also have your ruler and your grid. There's the playhead, and you can see the green MIDI region that's going around our music. Now, if we wanted more staff here, we could go to the top and click on the bottom of this MIDI region and stretch it out and give some more time. And when I do that, you can see it added here. Over in the right-hand corner is the zoom option. So we can use that zoom slider to see a little more here. And then the grid option. This is going to tell the score editor what grid size we want to be in. If I change this to quarter notes, it's going to change it to the closest quarter note, or in this case, the whole note. But this is just the grid. This is not actually the notes being played. This is just a tool to kind of help you build upon your arrangements and make it a little easier to compose. Let's change that back. Okay, so let's talk about how we can edit these notes. The easiest way is to just click. You can left click to select them, and you can also click and drag a marquee selection around multiple notes. To move them, I can click on them and drag them, and you can see the information showing the position and the pitch of this note. So this is a D3. I can also make them shorter or longer. And when I make this shorter to a half note, you can see a half rest automatically added by GarageBand. You can also see in the tracks area that as I make these edits, the MIDI region is being adjusted also. Okay, we'll make that. And you really want to make sure that as you are making music in the score editor, that you're looking at the piano roll editor too. They don't always line up perfectly, so you want to make sure that whatever edits you do here are matching what you're doing in the score editor also. Now for this one, it didn't start at the right time, so we'll select and we'll just drag it back to the beginning. And now we have that whole note. Now we'll go back to the piano roll editor, and you can see that it's actually starting a little soon and dragging a little late, so we can just trim that up nice and easily right here. See, this one is showing a whole note, but in the piano roll editor, it's just a hair off. So we want to make sure that we always are double checking our work going back and forth between the piano roll editor and the score editor. I can adjust this one. Now, later on, when we look at the options, I'll show you an easier way to doing this and having them time quantized so they automatically line up for us. But let's listen to that. Okay, I can also just click and delete a note if I want to by hitting the delete key on the keyboard. I can also add notes. We'll look at that when we look at the options in another video. But this is basically the score editor and how it works. And it's a really great tool because you can come in here and just start composing and arranging music. And no matter what you write here, it'll correspond to what shows in the MIDI regions. And whatever you play up here will actually be shown in the score music. You can print this out if you want to, and you can actually change it to treble, treble and bass, or bass clef. You can change the time signature by changing the time signature in the LCD display at the top, and you can actually change the key. So we see here in the treble clef, we have a C, D, and E. If I click on the C major and say I change that to A minor, you can see that it actually changes. So I can transpose music very easily this way. And if I pick something that actually has some sharps or flats in the key, you can see those over here also. So this is a great way also to learn music and scales and notes and transposing things, because you might have a perfect song, but maybe you're only used to playing in the C key, but you know you want to be a B flat minor or E or something of that nature. You can easily change that up here, and those changes will have effect on that music. So check out the score editor. I think you'll like it a lot. And like I said in a later video, we'll take a look at some of the options that we can also use to add in notes and also quantize the time and transpose it in other ways.